Buonasera ragazzi, Marco Romano with Tito Yang here for another episode of Serie Addicts as a part of the We Kick Balls channel. We're going to talk about Matchday 4 in the
Yes,
Serie
sir.
A. There were
Yes,
some
sir.
pretty good matches, but what was your overall impression of Matchday 4, Tito?
I hated it. I hated
That's why I
it.
kicked it to you for.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Juve dropped some points.
yeah.
Obviously, that's why Tito says he hated it, which
Yeah,
we'll
I
talk
hated it.
about that match.
Mm.
But some good games this weekend. One major surprise. Other than that, I think pretty much expected. But we'll talk through all the different matches, and don't know if there's anything else that you want to get into for today's episode, Tito.
No, not really. Just want to congratulate Usman Dembele on winning his golden ball, like the Ballon d'Or. Well deserved. I thought he was one of the front runners to get it. Actually, was probably the player who made the most sense in terms of getting the award based on his contributions to PSG. And so
I agree. I
and
agree.
so
He deserved it. At the very least, I'm glad that somebody from PSG won the Ballon d'Or. Was scared for there for a moment. I mean, if Lamine Jamal won it, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise, right? He was the runner-up, the clear runner-up. But I
yeah,
think he's young. He'll get more and more opportunities moving forward. I think it's maybe getting to his ego a little bit. So hopefully this lights a fire under him to perform even better this season, and we'll see. Can he even get better? He's already scary good at
yep,
what, like 17 years old. So
yeah. The only
he-
question mark around him, I would say, is his off the field antics, and he's already starting to hang out with adult stars and stuff of the sort. So hopefully, this type of hangouts don't turn him into one of these Adriano stories, or one of these footballers who get their careers derailed by the party atmosphere. But going back to Serie
I
A,
agree. I agree.
let's
I
let's
agree.
let's go to a nice party atmosphere that they had at Lecce, but Lecce wasn't partying too much because Cagliari's Il Gallo scored twice, once from the penalty spot to give Cagliari the 2-1 win. Anything you wanna highlight from this game?
No, penalty on Belotti, right? Belotti scores the pen, typical Belotti strike from the spot. Sotil cross and Thiago Gabriel puts a header in, and Palestra assisted Belotti for the second one, right? For easy tapping, right?
Yep.
Unless you're Jimenez playing for Milan, but a pretty easy tap in, right? Nice to see Velotti get a brace. It's probably been a while.
Yeah.
Good to see an Italian striker get on the board multiple times in a match for sure.
Yeah. Pretty even match too, like 51% to a 48% possession, 6-5 the shots on goal for the winners.
Yeah,
So pretty even, I would say.
pretty
But
even
in the
match.
end,
Both teams had some chances. Esposito hit the post twice as
yeah.
well. Sucks to see him go. His brother's doing well at Inter, but he's getting some playing time and he's playing well. But well deserved win for Cagliari at the end. They made the most out of their chances, but pretty back and forth game.
Yeah, and they go all the way up to seventh place. Cagliari got 7 points out of 12, so not a bad start for Cagliari in the season. Actually, if you look take that into account, right?
No, and I believe their next match is against Inter, which should be a pretty good matchup for us as well.
Well, we gotta watch out for Cagliari if the recent results are anything or any indicator of what they can do. Uh,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
next game up was on Saturday, first game of the morning, Bologna Genoa. Well, the morning for us, right? But in Italy is already the
Yeah.
early afternoon. But Bologna Genoa was a pretty interesting game between two pretty solid teams, right? But I think
Mm.
lately Bologna had been the bigger side with getting the better results. What do you think of that match?
I think Bologna is solid. It's a solid team in the back and up front with Castro. Castro, I don't know if you saw it, but He scored a pretty nice back heel goal, which was kind of
Hmm.
a weird one because typically when they do those type of back heels, they do it with the opposite foot. Yet he kind of made it work, but pretty good goal. Edson scored a goal for Genoa. Carboni had a handball in the box, right, and Orsolini stepped up and scored a pen, right. It came down to the wire, and Orsolini won it for Bologna. But
Bro,
Bologna for sure was the better team on the pitch.
by far, right? 59% possession to 41% possession. Didn't necessarily translate into shots on goal, like that big difference, but it's actually, yeah, it was actually 6-4. So pretty reflective of the position that the teams had. One interesting thing about this game, 13 added minutes. It felt like I was
Yeah.
watching the World Cup in Qatar again.
Well, there was a penalty right at the end with Orsolini winning it. Orsolini also hit the bar, I believe, like in around the 90th minute. So Bologna wanted it more, but I think the reason why it stretched out so long was because there was a pen called in extra time. So obviously that prolonged
Yeah, but it
the
was like
additional
in
time.
the 97th minute. It's already like you're already far into extra time. But I don't know. There was a lot of time added in this game. I think that's something worth highlighting. I think referee decisions have been coming into question recently, particularly because of the next match that we're gonna talk about, which was Elas Verona
Oh
at
yeah, you were setting it up real nicely there.
Juventus. Yes. Where basically Gift Orban hit a Juventus player right in the face with an elbow. The referee didn't even go back to VAR to look at it. And nobody from VAR called it out. The ref after the match said that
Who did he hit in the face?
who did he hit in the face? I'm trying to remember now.
See, it never
Who
happened. If you can't remember, it never
who did
happened.
he hit in the face? I I want to
See, you're
say
just listening to Tudor's post game interview, and he said that, and you rolled with it.
no. It was a very controversial decision, but 100% right. Um, the Juventus player didn't really make a lot of a fuss about it, right? I think that's also why it didn't really end up, being like a sending off. So I don't know. I felt
I don't
like
know.
that should
For,
have been
for
a
for
red card.
me, that wasn't like one of the key takeaways from the game. I mean, Juventus had their chances. I
But
think
what about that
Verona
penalty
had their
that the ref
chances as
didn't call
well.
where the player had his hand up, like arm up like that? But then he calls the Kelly penalty when Kelly is just like diving.
No, I mean, miscommunication in the defense by Juventus. The two players came together. The ball hit one of them in the arm. I mean, 50-50. I'm cool if it doesn't get called. I'm cool if it does get called just because of where inside the box it was. Definitely more dangerous position than they call on Dumfries earlier this season. But again, the inconsistency, right? You don't have to take it like match to match is sometimes within the same match. They don't keep the same consistency.
That's right.
And obviously, it just gives people more of a reason to bitch and complain. And sometimes
Yeah,
it's warranted. Most of the time, it's warranted because again, it's inconsistency.
it's
But I
too
believe
inconsistent.
Juventus should have put the game to bed, right?
Absolutely.
Conceição scored an amazing individual goal in his first match back. Typical Conceição goal. He just starts, grabs the ball in the corner and starts going, attacking to the middle, right? And just faking the shot. I think he faked out probably two to three defenders and then buried it in the bottom corner.
Yeah, that's
That was
his
a pretty awesome goal to kick things
special
off.
move.
I thought that from there it was just probably going to be a Juventus beatdown, but Verona, props to Verona, they played a hell of a match. This was
That's
actually
true.
a pretty contested match,
That's
especially in
true.
the midfield.
I think that Verona had a lot of the better chances actually, like throughout the game in a lot of ways, right? And I don't think Juve's midfield was ever able to get a grip on the game. I think the way we started, um, Locatelli again. I don't know, man. Like He started with Turam. It should have been like a game where he can dominate. We're playing Verona. He's not really. He's, I mean, Hellas Verona, right? Like not the other Verona, but we're supposed to be dominating this. This is not a game where like Akpa, Akpro, and like Bernede should be like dominating the midfield. It's ridiculous. It's like Joao Mario was weak. He looked he looked weak and he looked light compared to the job that Weston
And
McKennie
and
did.
he's the one, right, that they called the pen against, right?
No, it's
Joao Mario.
Kalulu. It was Kalulu. He hit the ball, like the ball
But
hit him, and
he bumped into Joao Mario, right,
yeah, he bumped
in the
into Joao
box.
Mario, but Kalulu, it hit Kalulu down.
I think Juventus kind of dominated the first half until the pen was called. That kind of shifted the game. To your point, I think Verona like came out to play in the second half. They had some pretty good chances. Even in the pen, right? Di Gregorio, I think, had a good game. He almost saved the pen. He saved a couple of
Yeah,
pretty good pretty good shots on goal. Verona actually got the game winner, but it was offside by like
it was
half a body.
offside. Pretty clear. Yeah, they got
So
one call
Juventus
right.
could have dropped even more points. It was just one of those matches
Yep.
where you guys looked off. The team
Listen,
looked
bro,
off.
I don't think it works to look if Vlahovic is scoring coming off the bench. Like, why do you start him? That's one question. The other question is the job McKennie did against like in the Champions League. Like, why would you not start him? Like, I can. McKennie hasn't been playing every game, so I don't. I would be surprised if he's like fatigued from like playing in the Champions League. You know what I mean?
But what
Midweek.
happened with Bremer? Bremer didn't play either, right?
Right, they resting Bremer. The Bremer has some sort of discomfort, so they rested him. But that's the difference it makes. Like one player, you play with Gatti instead of Bremer, and then we don't have that same confidence at the back. You know, Kalulu can't do what he does. Kelly can't do what he does. When Bremer plays in the middle, you see Kalulu and Kelly participating a lot more in the attack. This time, they had to stay back because you had Gatti in the middle. And again, Gatti and Locatelli, I hate to say it because I'm Italian and they're Italian and we need Italians in a good Juve, but they're not the Italians we want. Like they are good backups, like to bring them off the bench or something. But even against a team like Elas Verona, you could tell like they're just not at the level that we need them to be to dominate. We should be dominating the midfield unless we play against Napoli and Inter and play and teams like that. Every other team we should be dominating. This was not a dominant performance. And I'm gonna say another thing. Openda and Jonathan David need to get better haircuts. They're never gonna be top class strikers with those default looking first video game character creator out of the box
Mhm.
number one
It's
haircut.
the their gold rare card in FC.
They need a better they both need better haircuts. Number one, because it's hard to tell them apart when they're like from afar with those haircuts. They need some style. Like I've never seen a player who was great who doesn't have style. Like you see Yildiz, how he got like those things in his eyebrows.
So
Like you gotta have
can they
style,
get
man.
like the Lamin Jamal, the
Whatever,
I'm Slim
whatever,
Shady?
something. But it can't be like the hair that looks like you're a Lego character and you just stuck it on there. Like it can't be that. That's all I'm saying. We need better haircuts for our strikers. A defender's not gonna get intimidated if they're getting attacked like somebody with Openda's haircut. They're gonna try to give him $1, and I'm pretty sure
I think
Openda's a
it's
millionaire.
I think it was interesting, right? Because again, like if you're a club like Juventus, like Inter, like Napoli this year, right, that you want to be competing on all fronts, right? You want to compete in the Serie A, Coppa Italia, Champions League. You're gonna have to rest players. Players are gonna be tired. You're gonna have to rotate players, right? So
Yeah,
that's where depth really comes into play. Or who's gonna be able to manage that schedule, right? Without getting a ton of injuries of
yeah,
having to just overplay players, and whose rotation players are going to step up for the games where when they're needed and score some goals.
yeah,
Maybe to your point, I wouldn't be surprised if if Tudor goes back to starting Vlahovic off the bench. I agree with you, right? If it's working, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Right? He's been playing awesome coming off the bench. You get Openda or David a little bit more time to get some confidence. Yildiz had a good game, but obviously it didn't show off
Yeah.
in the score sheet this go around.
David makes
But
things
again, great
happen, you
great
know?
goal by Conceição.
Yeah.
For
But
me,
honestly, like one thing that Juve needs to do is understand that they got kind of three sort of heavy midfielders. Like that would be Turam, Locatelli, and McKennie. You can't do your subs and then end up in a place where your two center midfielders are Adzic and Cope Miners. That is a mistake because they're both light midfielders. They're not strong midfielders. They're more technical, more offensive. You want one of the strong ones, one of the light technical attacking ones. So either Turan with Coke Miners and Locatelli with Atsic, or Locatelli with Coke Miners and Turan with Atsic, or to anybody with McKenny. But you can't do Atsic and Coke Miners. I think that was a big problem in the second half.
I think they just gotta go McKenny and Turam and
Turam.
call it a day.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Just put some muscle in there. Have them carry 60 the first 60 minutes, see how the match goes. Expect your attackers to unlock it, right? Just lock it down with McKenny and Turam and let Yildiz Conceição and David do their thing. You
But I
know?
think
That's
he's
what I think.
figuring that out. I think he's also trying to figure out like, hey, what I was saying, right? You need to figure out when you have to rotate players because they're tired because you have a busy week, right? Like 3 games in 6 7 days,
Yeah.
right? He's got to know what combinations also work. So I think he
Yeah.
probably knows who would be if needed if you're playing Inter again, who he would start in his starting 11, but it's also figuring that out. Same with the new players up front, right? With Openda, with David, you got to figure out like who they play best with on the pitch,
Yeah.
just to try to figure out those combinations and understand how to rotate players to deal with all the different competitions.
Yeah. But I think the way
But you
of
guys
doing
dropped
that is
some
just
points, which is
little
always
changes
awesome,
if it's working.
much
So
appreciated.
that's the thing. Uh, you know, not wholesale changes. Just if you're winning, try to keep the winning formula. You
Hmm.
know. The next
Well,
match, Udinese Milan. Finally, we saw hints of Allegri's Milan. They took Udinese, who had defeated Inter, and they defeated Udinese soundly at home. Udinese's home, actually.
actually, I'm starting to become a believer on Milan. I
I
think
told you.
again, once Leao is back, they're gonna be good.
I told you.
Still some questions defensively, but if Pulisic is firing on all cylinders, they get Leao back. Jimenez again,
You watch Rabiot and
lackluster.
Modric in the midfield.
It's gotta be something mental. But yeah, Rabiot and Modric in the midfield with Salamakers as well
Mm,
on one side.
you-
They've been playing good. Pulisic scored his first goal off a rebound. The second goal, actually, Pulisic steals the ball from the defender.
Yeah,
Mistake by
he's
the
slick.
defender. It falls to Fofana. Fofana scores the goal, and even if Fofana wouldn't have scored, the defender fouled Pulisic, so it would have been a pen.
Yeah,
Regardless, Rabiot actually puts in a great pass and assist to Pulisic from a very tight angle,
he had a really good game.
and a really good finish. That's where how you can tell that a striker is on form when they score those types of goals where it's like very tight angle. You can only put it in one spot, and he puts it right on the money. So
Yeah,
you
he
could
hits it.
Pulisic, glad to see him not only for Milan but for the U.S. Before the World Cup here. That he seems to be on
Yeah.
form for sure for Milan, and I think they're waking up, man. I think they're playing great. Great performance by Estupinian. He impressed me. Uh, I think I hadn't seen them for a full solid match this season yet. Milan finally got to see a full match. Estupinian, I was very impressed by his performance as well.
Pretty good.
A lot of hustle play, but yeah, they're they've
But
been playing well. I don't know. You were the one that were saying that you were concerned with their defense. Are you feeling a little bit better after
yeah,
this
because
match?
because they got Rabiot now. Like so, they used to not have Rabiot in the midfield, but now is what I was saying about Juve. They got a heavy one, Rabiot, and a light one, Modric. Right, a light technical one that can create things, and a destroyer that has power, strength, size, speed. So I think that's the combination you want to have when you're playing with that formation where you have three defenders, two in the midfield, two wide men, and then your attackers up front. That's what you want. You want that balance. The problem with Juve was that they didn't have the balance. Milan in this game showed when you have that balance, when you have Rabiot doing the heavy lifting and Modric doing the finesse stuff, it's very different result.
No, Rabiot had a great game playing box to box. He created chances. He almost scored himself. He
Yeah,
recovered a ton of balls on defense. I was surprised. I hadn't seen him play in a while, and surprised of how poised and patient he was,
yeah,
even on their side of the field, right on the defense. They would put pressure on him, and he would just maintain possession, spin around, spin the other players around, and come out playing like it was nothing.
yeah.
He's a very very good player. I don't know why you would let him go, because he actually played
It's
probably one
bad
of the
management.
if not the best player other aside from Pulisic for Milan
Yeah,
on that match.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was contract reasons, the reasons why he left. Like they couldn't get agreement on like the contract. He actually, and he was at that time when they were making a lot of changes in the squad. But I Lady didn't want him to leave, that's for sure. Uh, so moving on. The next game was starting on Sunday morning.
The
Roma
Derby di
Lazio,
Roma.
Derby di Roma, Derby di Roma, della capitale. Let's see. So Roma actually won that match. Goal by Pellegrini on the 38th minute.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep, it
no,
was a mistake by Tavares. Tavares gave the ball away. Like bad mistake. They pick it up. Pellegrini scores a pretty good goal, but it was served on a silver platter by Pellegrini. To your point, I don't
by
know.
Sule,
Saki's
actually, right?
definitely
Sule
under the
served it
gun.
on a silver platter for Pellegrini. Sule.
Yep,
Yeah,
but Pellegrini scored again. Sari under fire. Tavares with that huge mistake. He was just going at it with Zaccagni on the pitch. So it seems like it's not only with the manager that the players. It looks like there's some frustration going on there as well.
yeah,
So not looking good for Mauricio Sari.
yeah. He's
Sari.
he's now
He's
leading.
definitely. I don't know. He would be my pick right now, with maybe Pioli, right?
But I'm
Battling
still I'm
for
still
who's going to
going
be the
Juric.
first manager to get the boot.
Yeah, I'm still going Juric, but I feel like Sarri is starting to challenge that. You know, because Sarri right now got Lazio sitting on 13th place. At least Atalanta are fifth. They got 8 points out of 12. It's way better than Lazio, who just got three. That's terrible.
And they got some players back, right? I know Tati Castellanos, I believe, didn't play on the last match. He had a couple of good shots on goal.
Yeah.
Some of them on target, some of them not. Belayan had a nasty red card foul on Kone. Glad he didn't get injured because he's an amazing player.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty nasty and just dirty foul.
Well,
Like
Roma get their
straight red, no questions, no VAR needed. The ref was like 5 to 7 feet away. It was a pretty bad challenge.
yeah, but Roma get their win and they're tied with Milan now with 9 points at the third spot on the table.
Slow,
Milan is
not
ahead.
scoring a
Yeah.
ton of goals, but getting points on the board.
Well, they seem to be very solid defensively, so I think that's working on their behalf. They don't really let a lot of goals in. Roma in 4 matches have only suffered one goal, so it's
They're
basically
sneaky good defensively. Let's see. You gotta wait
exactly.
until they play
They
one of the
they got
big
a problem
dogs.
scoring though because they've only scored three. So I guess it's one of those cortomuso type teams so far. Let's see if things open up. during the course of the season.
But very unlike Gasperini to play that kind of style of football. So let's
That's
see how
true.
long it lasts.
But like I was saying when we were talking last week, is that as long as a team is well set up defensively, right? Like that's usually the basics in Italy. It's most teams are tactically sound defensively. They finding the attack is a little bit harder sometimes, right? Usually getting the defending right is should be like more basic than finding the attack. And I feel like a lot of the teams, like the better teams, have been better at attacking than defending so far in the championship. If you look at the goals allowed for like Napoli, Inter, Juve, it's way more goals than you typically see, you know, those teams allowing. So it's been an interesting start to the season from that perspective. Speaking
Yeah,
of
I
goals
agree.
allowed, we probably don't have a lot
Torino?
to say about Cremonese and Parma, right? Because that was
No, no.
what can we
Yeah,
say about
another
that?
snooze fest. Two
It was
weeks in a
played on
row
a
now for
field.
Cremonese.
There
Parma
were
again.
11 players on
Just
each side.
Parma still haven't shown up this season. Right, they start off with a beatdown against Inter, and it's not going any better. So yeah, 0-0 draw with Cremonese. Not not a whole lot to say on that one. We can move on to Torino Atalanta, which I feel was a much better match.
Oh yeah, 100%. Shouts to Cremonese though for still, keeping their positive streak, right? As far as like the rankings are concerned, they're still up there on sixth place with 8 points.
It's a match day four, bro. Come on.
Nobody would have expected that on match day 4 to get 8 points when you're like a relegation
And
team.
nobody's gonna believe it by match day 12.
How far back? How far down do you think Cremonese are going to end up in the end?
Relegation.
Do you think they're going to get relegated
Relegation zone.
before Pisa,
I
Lecce,
don't know.
and
Maybe they
Verona?
won't get relegated, but I think they will be bottom half of the table. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% bottom half of the table, but relegation, I think it's a little bit harsh. But let's see. It's a long season. Anything can happen.
Yep.
All right, let's see. So next game was actually a nice couple of goals scored, and Ivan Juric trying to save his job.
I mean, they've been playing better. They've been playing more like the Atalanta that we're used to. Kristovic goal from a Samarsic assist. Soleimana scored a goal after Samarsic hits the post on another attacking play. And then to wrap it all up, Soleimana assists to Kristovic for the third goal for Atalanta. This all happened in the first half. Atalanta pretty much dominated the first half, and then kind of put it
Yeah.
on cruise control, moving into the second half. Then you have a penalty call for Torino on the 71st minute, which Zapata unfortunately is unable to put it on
Convert,
the back
yeah.
of the net. So terrible night overall for Torino. They had a couple of chances with Simeone, but really didn't create a ton throughout the game. It was kind of they got dominated in the first half, and the changes that they made for the second half unfortunately didn't help them a ton.
Yeah, not
So
a good
another
start
good
for
win
them.
for Atalanta.
Yeah.
3 points. You don't concede any goals. They rested some players as well. Soleimana has been playing good, right? Again, for me, it's going to be interesting to see when Lukman comes back eventually, how he fits in with some of those players like Sulemana, with Kristovic, with De Catelare. They're gonna be a team like Como. I feel that they're gonna surprise some people, right? I think those teams are gonna be battling for those European position when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and it's going better for them than it's going for other teams like Fiorentina, for example. Fiorentina in the next match dropping the points against Como. Como again coming up with and they're coming up with like a 94th minute winner, man. Like this
Hey, but those
team
are teams,
is
right, that just
fun.
battle until the end. Those are the teams that are there at the end because they just keep going.
Yeah. Game
Yeah, I think
without scoring for
the
Moise, but
Fiorentina got off to a very good start, right, with Mandragora. has a free kick outside the box. It ricochets off the wall, comes back to him, and actually a second attempt on goal, scores a pretty nice goal.
Yep.
Then you have a Nico Pass free kick where Kempf heads hit him in the goal. And then in the 94th minute, Adai. This is another prospect that's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on for Atalanta. Belgium, 20-year-old. Uh, Beautiful individual goal coming from the right side, takes on a couple of defenders, cuts into the middle, and scores. I think it went in between the keeper's legs, but he's also a great prospect. I don't know what it is about Atalanta and their scouting team, but they always find a way to get these young, talented prospects that are not that well known that they're able to get the most out of. So,
So he's on loan
to
at
your
Como.
point, sorry, Como.
Yeah, I was gonna
You're right.
say, yeah, yeah,
I got confused there. I got still in Atalanta. I plays for Como. Sorry, it's
yeah,
Fabregas and team, which I don't know if it's Fabregas. Maybe it's Fabregas bringing some players that he sees and likes, or maybe it's
yeah,
the scouting team over there. But
yeah.
they've done a great job. It was a great individual goal by Adai, which again another youngster because I know he brought in some youngsters from Spain. They're getting some playing time and they're doing good for Como. Again, tell you Atalanta and Como, those two teams I think are going to be battling for those European spots at the end when it's all said and done. I doubt they'll get close to sniffing the Serie A title, but I think that's where they're going to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, they're fun to watch, definitely. And
Yep.
they have some very skillful technical players, which make the games always interesting. And you can't really count them out until the last minute, as you could see there with Como in this occasion. And the other thing I wanted to say is this result kind of puts Pioli in that list, like Stefano Pioli and
Pioli and Sarri right now, I
Sarri.
think, are
Mm,
kind of the top two to potentially get sacked. I think, to your point, Juric has kind of bought himself a little bit of time.
yes.
Right? He didn't have the best performance the match prior to this one, but they performed well in the match prior to that one. So, two good matches, right? 3-0 victory. And you're getting your young talent to produce. So I think he's off the hot seat right now, but Pioli and Sarri definitely are in the hot seat.
Yeah. Very, very hot. Very hot.
Yeah, especially for Sarri right now, because
Burning even. So
Lazio are a pretty good team.
let's go to the next match, which is Atalanta's affiliate club Inter against
You mean the
Sassuolo.
original team
They all got the
with
same
the
shirt.
black and blue stripes?
You can't be original, like have like a unique shirt.
Good performance by Inter, right? Nothing to write home about, to be honest. It wasn't that great of a match. I think they started dominating the match, scored a very nice goal in the 14th minute. Barella opens up the play to Di Marco. Di Marco gives it to Susic. Sucic, very one of the most unselfish players that I've seen, especially lately at Inter. Puts it on a silver platter for Di Marco, who literally side foots it on the and into the bottom corner.
Yeah.
But after that, typical of Inter, which is what sometimes
Stop
pisses me
back.
off about them. Instead of putting teams to sleep when they're dominating, they missed a ton of chances. Kind of fell asleep behind the wheel a little bit. It took them until the 81st minute for Carlos Augustos to score like a hustle goal, which he deserved it. I feel he was probably the best player in an Inter jersey for the match. Played
Interesting.
CB in place of Bastoni as well,
Wow.
and did a good job. I think Akanji, the more I see him, the better I feel about the Acerbi Akanji combination,
I
especially when
told you be
Bastoni's
patient.
playing. Carlos Augusto did a good job playing CB, which he doesn't do a ton. I was a little bit concerned, to be honest, when I saw him. When I saw that Kibu started with a back three and Carlos Augusto was listed as the third CB, but he had a great game, so I'm glad that he did score the goal. But again, typical Inter fashion, right after Carlos Augusto's goal, they fall asleep. Sassuolo come back with a very nice 1-2. Chedira finds himself alone in the box right in front of Martinez. Nothing for Martinez to do. Sloppy defending by Inter. Martinez felt sorry for him because he actually had a pretty good game, stepping in for Sommer. It's nice to know that we have a backup keeper that we can count on and is at that level as well. But again, you can't fall asleep. You're playing against Sassuolo, winning 2-0 in the 81st minute. You fall asleep. They score a goal. Now you're defending like crazy for the last 10 minutes instead of just controlling possession and staying focused.
Yeah,
So
I mean they
so
did
again,
control possession. It was like 61% possession for Inter, but yeah, during those last stretches of the
yeah,
game,
but better
you
control the moments,
you don't
right?
need to be that nervous when you're dominating a game like this. Inter had 26 crosses versus just 8 for Sassuolo. Like you, when you're dominating a game like this, you don't have to leave it to the 81st minute. Like you should be more, I think, more vicious, right? Like
Yeah.
in pressing your advantage. But well, all props to Inter. They got the 3 points, and that puts them all the way up in 10th place in the standings. They're climbing back up the table slowly but surely. They have
We'll
six
slowly
points.
climb up there. But it sometimes pisses me off with Kiwu, right? Because I've been telling that I want Chalanoglu to play how he's been playing. I don't think if he got one or two shots on goal, it was a lot. I don't know why managers like Kiwu don't have a chalkboard in the dressing room, and it's like Chalanoglu, you need to take at least 3 to 5 shots from outside the box, right? Di Marco, you need to put these many crosses in, right? Same with Dumfries. Dumfries didn't have a great game. Um, we have some pretty good subs. I felt bad for Pio Esposito, who played an awesome match. Was one of the few players that you could tell were giving it all, especially it looked even more so playing next to Turam because Turam is like he didn't show up to play this weekend. But Pio Esposito almost scored a bicycle kick goal that I don't know how the keeper saved it because that would have been amazing for his first goal at Inter for the big team. So props to the keeper there. But again, just that we need to be better at putting games to bed early. We could have easily scored 3 to 4 goals in that first half. There's no reason why it should have taken up to the 81st minute and then falling asleep at the wheel. But we did get to rest Bastoni and some key players, right? It's going to be an important match against Cagliari. Cagliari have been playing well. So we get Bastoni gets 3 to 4 more days rest, right, in preparation for that match. He's going to have a week and a half off right in between matches. So hopefully we come in with a better mentality, right, and more focus on that match because if they play against Cagliari the same way that they play against Sassuolo, they're gonna be in for a tough battle for sure.
Yep, 100%. So last match of the match day that we haven't discussed yet is the defending champions against Pisa. 3-2 for Napoli on that one. Pisa, Napoli got off to the lead with Gilmore on the 39th, and then Pisa
First goal for Napoli,
equalized.
which surprised me to be honest. I thought Gilmore had scored more goals for Napoli before, but
Decent player, decent midfielder. And Inzola tied it up with a penalty in favor of Pisa
yeah,
on the
Bokema
60th.
handball and Zola scores the pen.
Yep. And then
Then
Spinazzola
Spinazzola
comes up.
scored a pretty nice individual goal from outside the box. Um, Good again to see Italian players get on the freaking score sheet because we need
Yep.
to qualify for this World Cup.
Well, Luca also
Uh,
scored on the 82nd. So that's another
which
one.
was another one of those goals, right? Similar to Pulisic, right? Great pass and assist by McTominay. Luka with a very tight angle again puts it the only place where he can put it. Top bins on the near post. Picked that out perfectly. Scores a great goal, and I was pumped for him. The celebration with Conte was pretty cool. Conte ran on the field and jumped on him. He was you can tell he was pretty pumped for Luca to get his first goal for Napoli. Hopefully, the first of many because they need it. They got Hoyland,
Yeah.
but they need some help. Who knows how long Lukaku's going to be out? Right, this gives them an opportunity to rest him a little bit more, not rush him back. So great goal by Luca for sure.
Still two goals allowed by Napoli. And if you look at the possession, it's like 63% to like 36% for Pisa. but the shots on goal were 6-6. So all that possession Napoli had didn't necessarily translate into a lot of shots,
No.
mostly because Pisa was parking the bus the whole game, obviously, right? Because that's what you do when you have such a
I mean,
technical
the second
inferiority,
goal,
right?
mistake by Di Lorenzo, who got red carded in early in the match against Man City, made another huge mistake today. Gave the ball away in the box. Angori assists Loran for the goal. Right, so that second goal, loss of focus. Di Lorenzo, for me, that's been one of the weaknesses and one of the things I worry about the most about the Italian
Italian team.
national team,
Yeah.
because I feel that's one of the biggest glaring holes that Italy have. And I don't know, man, like what other solid right backs, Italian right backs, are there like right now, in your opinion?
It's gonna have to be probably moving Cambiaso over to the right side and having somebody else play on the left. Like, just put Di Marco on the left side and Cambiaso on the right. Because Cambiaso I know can play both sides. Maybe not as effectively as he plays on the left side, but I think Cambiaso would be better than Di Lorenzo. Like anyway. Um,
Gonna be better offensively for sure, and if you're gonna have Di Lorenzo being such a big liability defensively, it's Cambiaso has been great, playing great on
yeah.
the left,
Mhm.
and he could give you a little bit of that, and then later in the game you sub someone else in, and then you switch Cambiaso to the left, right?
Yeah, you
But
could
yeah,
do that. Yeah,
we gotta fix that problem because
and see what
Di Lorenzo is not having a good stretch right now.
right. We gotta see what level Bellanova is gonna get up to this season. Right, like, we got a lot of hopes
Yeah,
for
but
him.
Bellanova is another one that during the Champions League literally gifted a goal to the opposing team. He
Yeah,
tried to make a back pass towards the keeper and left Karnesecki hanging for an easy goal from
PSG.
Gomez.
Yeah,
Was it Gomez from PSG. Yeah, terrible
Gonzalo
back pass.
Ramos.
So it's like Gonzalo Ramos, right?
Yeah,
So two very similar goals, right? Both giving the ball away very easily. I don't know. For me, it's always been or at least I think it's the biggest gap when it comes to the Italian national team right now. That position specifically.
yeah. It's crazy how good we used to be, like on those flanks, back in the days. But oh well, that's what happens. It's a generational thing, and I think we gotta just keep giving them chances, because if you don't give them chances to actually play a high level, then you never really know who's ready. But yeah, interesting that Napoli goes top of the table with full points, 4 up,
Yeah,
4 down,
only
9 goals scored.
that hasn't dropped any points yet, so well
Right.
deserved at the top of the table.
Yeah, not the best defense in the league, though. That distinction still goes to Roma with only a single goal allowed in 4 matches, which is pretty good. Second best defense of the tournament so far is Milan, actually, with only 2 goals allowed. So interesting. Those teams seem to be building from the back. And, it's going to be interesting to see how they develop when their offenses start flowing. Like you said, when Rafael
When
Leao
Leao comes
comes
back, yeah.
back, when Dybala's consistently healthy, I think those teams are going to be very interesting. Roma and Milan, as far as like they're looking very solid.
I think Dybala is consistently unhealthy, if
That's
anything.
honestly, I think that's one of the reasons you would let him go, because he was injured more than he was available
Yeah.
sometimes, and it's a problem. So let's look at what's coming up um on the next match day, see what kind of games we're gonna get in the Serie A. Let me pull up the calendar.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up on my side as well. So we got Como
Le-
Cremonese. I mean, Cremonese not conceding a ton of goals,
that's gonna be an interesting
but
game, I think. Honestly,
Como's been playing great. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of goals on that one. I would say like maybe a Como 1-0 victory, or maybe even a 1-1 draw. To be
yeah.
honest, I wouldn't be
The game
surprised.
after that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 4-3. Juventus Atalanta at Allianz Stadium. Those two teams have been scoring a lot. They haven't been really great defensively. So let's see. That game should be pretty exciting. I'm expecting Juve to win it. But let's see what happens. You never know. It's been an up and
I don't
down
know.
season.
Atalanta, we gotta finally get to see him against another great team. Obviously, it didn't go well against PSG, but
Hmm.
PSG, right, is probably the best team in Europe right now. But it's
Yeah,
going to be a good test for them against Juventus. But yeah, I agree with you. Hopefully, a lot of goals and a very entertaining match, regardless, right? Atalanta, Juventus, both very entertaining teams. So it's going to be a good match.
yeah. And the next one, Cagliari Inter, is gonna be Inter visiting
Cagliari Inter, I
Cagliari.
think this is going to be a good
Cagliari
one.
gonna lock it down for sure.
Yeah, but I think we got some of our key players that are well rested, right? Lautaro played a little bit this weekend, but didn't play much because he was still not 100%. Bastoni got a full rest. I think we'll be back playing better again. I think every match Akanji gets under his belt, the more
Yeah.
solid that defense is becoming. Still, my main area of concern for Inter, but Cagliari have been on a good streak, so I think it's going to be a good match. I don't think it's going to be a beat down on any side. I think it's going to be a contested match. Maybe we'll see a couple of goals, but I'll say like a 3-2 Inter victory
So
or a
one
three
interesting
one
thing about these
Inter victory.
matches, one interesting thing about these Saturday matches is that on the 30th, which would be the Tuesday after, Inter and Juve, I think Juve, let me see, Atalanta definitely, Inter most certainly, Juventus is playing on Wednesday, but they have Champions League games the following week. So sometimes we'll see players be rested for these weekend matches.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because I don't feel that Juve and Atalanta are going to be able to rest really players because they're playing such a tough game against each other. But I expect Inter to do a lot more turnover against Cagliari compared to you and Atalanta. So I would give the edge to Inter on this particular match day if they want to make up some points against you and Atalanta, who are sitting at second and fifth, respectively.
Yeah, I think Inter is gonna put their best 11, right? I think to your point, after Serie A, right, and going into the Champions League, I think Inter actually has the easier game in the champion as far as Champions League fixtures, right? Juventus play Villarreal, right? Napoli play Sporting. Those are not two easy teams to play.
Yeah.
So I think
Atalanta
Inter,
plays
to your,
Bruges,
it's
which is
it's key for us to get 3 points on this match
Atalanta play
against
a tough
Cagliari.
team too. The Belgians, Bruges, they're not
They've been
easy
playing
either.
awesome.
Yeah,
They've been playing awesome lately. I've been keeping an eye on them because Stankovic,
yeah.
Dejan Stankovic's son, is on loan with them in Terista as well, and he's been playing great at the as the defensive midfield for them. They've been scoring a ton of goals, so yeah, that's gonna be actually a pretty good game to see as well.
But nobody's gonna watch any of those games on Wednesday because on Wednesday there's Barcelona PSG in the Champions League, and that's probably the game that everybody will be tuned into. But it's gonna be a very, very nice match day in the Champions League on the 30th. And also the next day of the Serie A is gonna be very interesting because those teams are gonna have to do a little bit of turnover. Napoli is actually playing Milan on Sunday.
Yeah, I think
Uh
that's the game right of match day 5.
Game of the week.
Napoli versus Milan is
Yeah.
Napoli Milan, right? Juventus Atalanta. I think those are the two games to watch.
Hmm.
I think Roma Verona would should be interesting as well,
I
if I'm
got
being
Roma
honest.
winning that one, honestly, but Sassuolo
But
Udinese,
I think very kind of similar styles of play. I don't think there's going to be a ton of goals scored on that one, but I think it's going to be a battle.
yeah. I think if
But Milan
Fiorentina,
Napoli will be interesting because I think Milan are have been playing a little bit better, right? These last couple of matches, so that one's going to be interesting to keep an
I
eye
think
on
that
if
midfield battle
Napoli
definitely
can drop
between the
some points.
veterans is going to be very interesting. Kevin De Bruyne versus Luka Modric in the Serie A. Going to be a very interesting kind of midfield battle there. The other thing is there's Pisa Fiorentina, and this game, if Fiorentina lose this game, I feel like Pioli definitely needs to start packing his bags because Fiorentina, they end up with 2 points out of 5 matches with the money they spent and like the way they've moved in the market. That's gonna be disastrous, especially if they lose against Pisa like that. He can't
That wouldn't
stand.
be that
But
surprising, right? Pisa just gave Napoli a run for their money, so
yeah,
I
three
wouldn't be
two against
surprised
Inter.
if
It wasn't like they got blown out either. So
they they could put a good performance. They scored twice on Napoli, right? Maybe they can get a couple of goals on Fiorentina, and if that happens, that may be a very quick exit for Pioli as the
yeah,
manager.
yeah, yeah. And then they wrap up the match day with a couple games on Monday between Parma Torino. This one is probably a must win for either team if they want to kind of salvage their start. And then Genoa Lazio, it's another game. That's a must win for Sarri. And he's visiting Genoa, so that's not an easy match to
No,
navigate.
not at all.
So Sarri and
Nope.
Pioli,
Obviously, not gonna be tuning in to watch those live. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to your point more because of the manager situation.
yeah, exactly. I think though that's what's gonna have like gonna be looming over those games, which are gonna make them very interesting to kind of follow to see the results.
No. So
So
biggest
yeah,
things, right? Are Napoli gonna drop points? Will Pioli still be the manager for Fiorentina after the next match day?
yeah,
Match day. These are the questions that that are most interesting in knowing. But I feel probably Juve Atalanta is going to be the the better match, the more entertaining match. I think
for
Milan Napoli
sure.
is going to be a battle.
At a tactical type of game, yeah, I can
But
see them
looking
drawing.
forward to them.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Juventus drawing
No, not Juventus. Juventus is gonna win probably like five
Milan
four
Napoli.
or some shit like that.
Yeah, Milan Napoli a
Milan Napoli might like a 1-1 draw or like a
1-1
2-2
draw.
draw or something. That's the one I
I
see kind
wouldn't be
of.
surprised, and hey, and that would benefit Inter and Juve. So hey, let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. But that would
Yes,
be
sir.
awesome.
All right, guys, that's everything we have for you for this match day on Serie Addicts on the We Kick Boss channel. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, complain, praise, whatever you want to do down in the comment section. My name is Tito Yang, and I'm with.
Marco Romano, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. See you on the next one. Peace.
All right, ci vediamo dopo.